The Indian Armed Forces have recently gotten a go-ahead to acquire the Pralay surface-to-surface short-range ballistic missile (SRBM) system. This could prove to be a major step towards India's ambition to develop and deploy a rocket force. In September 2021, the late Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat revealed that India was looking at creating a rocket force. Tactical missile Pralay has stated range of 150 to 500 kilometers and carries warheads ranging from 350 to 700 kilograms. Evolved from India's K series of submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or the SLBMs, the first known tests of the Pralay missile were conducted on 2 consecutive days in December 2021. The satellite imagery of the test shows that Pralay is a canistered road mobile system. The canisterization can significantly enhance the mobility of a tactical missile system by reducing the time and resources required to prepare and launch the missile. The mobility of a tactical missile system is important because it allows the system to be moved to different locations as needed in order to respond to evolving threat. But even more importantly, in one of the 2 tests conducted last December of the Pralay missile, the missile was launched in a quasi-ballistic trajectory. In a quasi-ballistic trajectory, the missile follows a relatively lower, though largely ballistic path than a ballistic missile would, and it has the ability to perform maneuvers mid-air or in flight. When moving in a lower trajectory than a ballistic missile, a quasi-ballistic missile is able to maintain a higher speed, which gives its targets less time to react to the incoming threat. It significantly improves the chances of missiles defeating enemy's missile defense system. The Defense Ministry has referred to the missile as a conventional surface-to-surface missile. This has been done in an effort to distinguish it from the Agni series of missiles, which have the capability to carry both conventional or nuclear warheads. The use of Agni 1 and Agni 2 missiles with conventional payloads in a conflict-ridden situation could potentially lead to misunderstandings and escalation, as the opposing side would have no way of knowing whether the warhead on the missile is nuclear or conventional. By classifying the missile as conventional, the decision to use it can be delegated to the local commanders who are on field, as is the case with other tactical weapon systems. Now the question is, why do we need a missile force at all? The People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, that's the PLARF, formerly known as the 2nd Artillery Force, has the world's largest ground-based conventional missile force. Its evolution from the 2nd Artillery Force of the PLA to the PLARF, which makes it a service like the Army, Navy and Air Force, and a 33% increase in size in 3 years between 2017 and 2019 indicates China's strong resolve to increasingly rely on their rocket force. In the event of a conflict with India, China would use the rocket force to hit key operational targets like command and control centers, air bases, and other critical infrastructure in the initial stages of the war to degrade India's ability to fight. This has also been done in Ukraine by Russia. India has ground-launched missiles to respond to such an attack, but the options are severely limited when you compare that to China and under the command of different services. Both the Indian Army and the Air Force have ground-based BrahMos missiles, but the lack of theaterization and jointness means they can't be used optimally. An integrated rocket force would not only be a deterrent to China's PLARF, but it would also bring such assets under a singular architecture and a singular doctrine. The BrahMos, which now has a relatively longer range than before, costs upward of Rs 34 crores a piece. Naturally, this will be reserved for limited number of high-value targets. Pralay, on the other hand, is a much cheaper ballistic missile. It would provide mass to the rocket force and allow it to target Chinese force concentrations along the line of actual control and the dual-use infrastructure in Tibet. However, the rocket forces would still need a cheaper ground-launched cruise missile, which remains a crucial missing link in India's missile arsenal, apart from the long-range conventional ballistic missiles to strike targets deep inside China. In a major boost to the striking capabilities of the Indian Armed Forces against China, the Defense Ministry has cleared a proposal to purchase 120 Pralay missiles for the Indian Air Force and the Indian Army. These missiles will be a part of India's future rocket force. Not only will that be a clear deterrent against the Chinese forces, but a great addition to the armory in the face of the very serious two-front threat we face against China and Pakistan.